Are you working 100 hours a week, going to the gym 5 days a week, meditating and having the perfect diet? If not, why not? So we have the idea of working hard in life to get ahead. You see many successful people, they're very wealthy, they have lots of flashy cars or going on lots of holidays, and they tell you that they achieve these things by working very hard. So we have the idea that to get ahead, you have to work extremely hard. But sometimes this is not possible because you end up burning out, you have health problems, other areas of your life suffer. So you have this idea of hustle culture. Now, if we look at this title here, hustle culture, is this the end of rise and grind? So before we look at the article, try to make an assumption, try to make an intelligent guess as to what the article is about, even if you haven't heard of this phrase hustle culture before. Is this the end of rise and grind? So to rise, to wake up, to get up, and grind. What is grind? So when you think about having a pestle and mortar, if you're grinding pepper, so you have peppercorn, you grind it to make the fine pepper. Waking at 4 o'clock, necking a bulletproof coffee and a green juice. Waking at 4 o'clock in the morning. Anytime you see a number, a date, I want you to think about deduction and the phrase, this implies that. So by waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, is it early? Is it late? Well, it could depend. It depends on the person's sleeping schedule. But in general, you could make the assumption that 4 o'clock is early. It's incredibly early to wake up. Necking. Necking here means to drink very quickly, usually alcohol, a bulletproof coffee. Bulletproof coffee is a brand of coffee that has extra fat, and it's popular with people that are on a low carbohydrate diet or a keto diet, which is very low in carbohydrates, and a green juice. So a green juice is something very healthy. It has lots of vegetables. I actually love making smoothies. My version of a smoothie is to put some bok choy, some dates, some bananas, blueberries, almond milk, and blend that up, and it's amazing. But this term green juice is synonymous, is connected to the idea of being healthy. Hooking into a multi-screen desk setup for back-to-back calls and strategy sessions. So here, there's not just one desk, there's it's a multi-desk, a multi-screen desk rather. So you have many screens around, so it looks like you're being very productive, you're getting lots of work done. You're hustling to build a mission-driven empire. When you're on a mission, it's stronger than having motivation. You're driven. So driven again here is stronger than motivation. It's something that you have to do. And an empire. You're not just building a business, you're building an empire. And harness the hashtag grindset. I like how they've used the hashtag here, because on social media you have lots of things like hashtag and then the keyword, and this is something which has become quite popular if you want to highlight a specific topic or area. A grind set. So it's no longer your mindset, it's your grind set. So your mind has become brainwashed into thinking you have to keep grinding, you have to keep working incredibly hard all of the time. Who needs sleep when you're going to make trillions of dollars? So no longer is it just making millions. or billions, now it's trillions. So you have this enormous pressure to be making trillions of dollars in order to be perceived as being successful. The hustle culture narrative promotes the idea that there's always more to strive for, more money to make, a bigger title or promotion to secure, and a higher ceiling to smash. A higher ceiling to smash. If you think about a career, you have the career ladder. So you have steps that you have to achieve. So when you're starting a career, you start at the bottom. You have to learn the ropes. You have to learn what to do. As you progress, your salary increases and you get to the top. And then that's the ceiling. But the hustle culture narrative promotes smashing through that barrier because there's so much more that you can achieve. Although not all entrepreneurs embrace these tropes. Tropes here means a recurring theme. So some people don't embrace. They don't think, okay, this is what I need to be doing. Some experts say some people have felt the pressure from decades-long trickle-down effect of total immersion in work. Trickle down, this means to fall down slowly. So if you have water, maybe it's been raining and there's water on the window. So you have drops of rain that would trickle down eventually to the bottom of the window. So this feeling that you have to be working very hard, it may have been successful in the past. So that feeling has trickled down through decades. So decades here refers to 10 years. So this, to me, this implies that this feeling that you have to work hard has been around for a long time, often to the detriment of other facets of their lives. Facets here means other areas. So their work life, their family life, their health, their hobbies. These are all the other facets. So the detriment, all the other areas have suffered because of just focusing on hustling. They point out this mindset stems largely from tech startups in Silicon Valley and is perpetuated on social media. So Silicon Valley in America, where a lot of the startups originated from, people had to work incredibly hard to create something, is perpetuated. Perpetuated means when something is continuous and you don't know when it's going to stop. Is perpetuated on social media. So here they're saying that on social media, it can continue forever. If you're watching the news, you can turn off the news or it finishes at some point. But with social media, it's continuous. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's continuous. But they also stress that overworking on purpose and boasting about doing so can have negative effects on workers' mental and physical health. So here they're addressing the fact that if you're overworking and boasting, so to boast is to talk about something, to say, hey, this is a good thing. So you're drawing attention to yourself that I am working incredibly hard. I should be respected and applauded, and people should notice the fact that I am working incredibly hard. Workers' mental and physical health. So they're addressing the fact that this can really affect your life. Can have negative effects on workers' mental and physical health, and subsequently may be losing its luster. So here, luster is a very special, attractive quality that other people admire. It can also mean something that's quite shiny. So this idea that you have to be hustling and working all the time, it's losing its shiny appeal. People are recognizing the fact that, it looks shiny, it looks amazing, it looks like something that we should be believing in, but actually it doesn't work, especially among employees from marginalized groups and backgrounds. If you work incredibly hard, you should expect results. But if you come from a marginalized group or background, you may not have the same opportunities. So you could be grinding and working incredibly hard, but you may not get those opportunities. So it's not fair. There's not a level playing ground to say that just everyone can achieve something by working hard, because it depends on the opportunities that you have. Yes, you can create some opportunities, but there will be some roadblocks, and there may be more roadblocks for people that are from a marginalized group. So it could be a low economic group, so they do not have the finances to purchase books or to purchase technology or a laptop or the internet to have these opportunities. In the pandemic era, many people are reprioritizing what they want out of work and life. This is quite interesting. So during COVID, a lot of people were working from home and they were reprioritizing. So if you have a priority list of what is important at the top, it's different for each person. But when you're working for a company and you have to be working incredibly hard, and you're congratulated for working long hours. But if your health starts to suffer and you have time to reflect on that, then you can think, my health is a priority, because if I work incredibly hard, but I burn out, I have health problems, I'm going to suffer, and life doesn't become enjoyable. They are quitting toxic workplaces, leaning out, strengthening boundaries, and carving more time for personal lives and hobbies. So toxic workplaces. Maybe there's a lot of office politics. Maybe they are encouraged to work long hours, leaning out. So when you lean out, I think about health and fitness. So to become lean, you get rid of excess fat. You get rid of what you don't want. Strengthening boundaries. So being able to say, no, I cannot work extra overtime. Carving more time for personal lives. So carving, if you think about a block of stone, and if you carve out, you take out bits of the stone to reveal what's underneath. Plus, experts say economic uncertainty and greater awareness of inequality can make both the ideas and language of the rise and grind mentality feel outdated and out of touch. The economic uncertainty. So we live in a world where after COVID, we have the cost of living crisis. Prices have increased and salaries haven't really increased. So we have this uncertainty. Many people are having to take extra jobs, and greater an awareness of inequality. So social media has helped in that regard, that people are more able to see the inequality. It's more visible than it is, because through social media, you can share your story from around the world. So let's reflect on this article here. When you're reading through the article, I want you to be asking yourself certain questions. Here we're reading for gist. So gist is the general idea, the general meaning. Are they saying that hustle culture is a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Well, hustle culture can be good because you can be incredibly successful. You can be financially secure. Thinking about making money. Money isn't a bad thing. Yes, money doesn't necessarily buy you happiness, but it can buy you security. It can ease your worries, your stress. It can give you access to better health care. But just focusing on one area and just hustling and working very hard can be detrimental to your health and other areas of your life. So having money and being successful is of no use if other areas of your life have suffered. And to me, what's very important is, yes, working hard, but boasting about it. So being able to say, I am working incredibly long hours. So overworking on purpose. And I think a lot of people in the past were worried about losing their job. So they had to give this perception, if you're at work, you're working incredibly hard so that other people and your manager don't think that you are being lazy. But what COVID taught us is that you can be effective and you can have time for other activities. So it's about doing the work, yes, but having a balance. Now, the opposite to hustle culture is slow living. In life, you see lots of trends. So a trend is when something becomes very popular. It happens in all walks of life. It happens in fashion, technology. For example, with fashion, clothes from the 80s or the 70s may come back in style, and you think, this person is incredibly fashionable. It's the same thing with trends. So hustle culture, working very hard, may have been popular in the past, but now we have slow living. So this is the opposite to hustle culture. So slow living is when you literally slow down, your pace of life slows down, and you spend more time on the things that are important to you. Now, can you have a balance? Can you have a balance of hustle culture and slow living? What do you think? Is it possible? And let me know what you think about this article. Have you ever had periods of life where you felt, I'm hustling, I'm working incredibly hard, it's affecting my life? And how did you cope with that stress? Because in today's society, it's impossible to escape that. You have to pay for rent, you have to pay for bills, you have to pay just to survive. The cost of living is incredibly high. But I don't think it's seen as a badge of honor anymore, that look at me, I'm incredibly successful because I'm working long hours. I think there's a smarter way to work where you can be incredibly focused and you don't have to have a perfect life in all areas. So I hope you found this lesson helpful. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this lesson. If you liked this lesson, please give it a like. If you are new here, please click on the subscribe button. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.